Hello, good afternoon. It just did not roll off the tongue for me to say afternoon, you guys. Hello. I am Sam McDonough, IFBB Bikini Pro, and I am here with another video. Okay, okay, here's what's going on, you guys. When was the last time I've left Lisa on the screen in case you don't care. She's twice Olympic qualified now this season. I've left Elise on the screen in case you don't care about my personal updates, which I never give personal updates, I don't think. So I guess here's my first personal update, which do not expect it to be a regular thing. I just feel like you need a little disclaimer before I go into this video because okay, fast forward if you don't care. Um, I I'm entering delirious territory today. So what's been going on? What's been going on? So here's what's been going on. I am tired because I was on the computer more this week than usual, doing, my little computer thing and writing, adjusting resumes, stuff like that. And oh my God, do I hate doing resumes? So I was doing that and I was doing that for a few days, being very critical of myself, because that's what I do. And I am a little delirious being on the computer so much. And then the dogs, I have three dogs, and maybe I'll show you a picture of them. I have three dogs, and they all want to. I have three dogs and a very handy neighbor. I have three dogs and a very handy neighbor. And my neighbor is working on his side of the fence that butts up to our yard, and the dogs want to go outside every 2 seconds, not together. They want to play musical chairs with going outside. So then they keep crying at the door, and then I'll go let them out, and then they'll knock on the door like this. So this is Vixen. Okay, this is my dog Vixen. She's so cute. And that's Ari. There's Ari again. He always has his little tongue out. And then this is Vixen again. She's so happy. And then there she is again. And then this is Mr. Ash. Look at his little blue eyes. That's Vixen again. And Ari. And Ash. They're so cute, you guys. So there's Ash touching his dad's back. He's so cute. Both of them are cute. That's my landlord. He's my boyfriend. He would probably say he's my boyfriend, but he's my landlord. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. This is when I put buttons on but this is beside the point. That's when I made a button dress. I'll show you the button dress that I made. I follow myself on here because I sometimes tag myself, so it's kind of embarrassing that it'll show you that I follow myself. But this is this dress that I made and then I wore it for my graduation photos. It was my proudest achievement when I graduated. Here's the button dress I made. I sewed thousands of buttons on there, and then I went and walked my sister's dog, Gus, who you just saw, and I had the buttons on my face. So, okay, everyone. So I'm all over. That's why this took so long to film. So, okay, let me get it together. Okay, so at 3 minutes and 21 seconds, now we're back to filming. So here's what's going on. The IFBB California Supplement Pro just occurred on May 4th. It occurred on Saturday, this past Saturday. And who won? Lisa Reef. Who got in second? Anna Setlak. I feel for her because that is 2 second places in a row to Lisa. And then who got in third? Allison Testu. I feel for her because she just got second twice in a row as well, I believe, and now she's in third. And then Charlotte, back up in the ranks. Go Charlotte. Thrilled for her. And then Katarina, she's the one we talked about in our preview. God, I feel like I should start this over, but am I going to? No. So here's what happened. The scorecards, perfect score across the board. So was it tight? I'm not sure. Let's go into the winner. So here is Miss Lisa. This is my favorite look that Lisa has ever brought. I think it's my favorite look she's ever brought. Okay, so what do I have let's look at the comparisons first. Okay, so I guess I didn't even have to do that, but here we are. Okay, so this is everyone who was in the top 6. Yeah, okay. So looking at this photo, what stands out to me? So what stands out? So stands out is it can be negative or positive. So what stands out negatively to me per physique is Valeria and Charlotte look very wide up top, which reads as an imbalance in their lower body. So that's what I see when I first look at this. Um, and then the other thing I see, it's kind of tied, is Lisa looks very balanced from top to bottom, and so do Allison and Anna. Katarina also looks really good, but her upper body looks dominant to me as well. So I would say that's the thing that stands out. The three people who I look at and I'm like, okay, they're the same width at top and bottom are Lisa, Anna, and Allison. And those, maybe that's hindsight bias, but they did get top three. So yeah, could be hindsight bias, not sure. But that is what I see based on this far away angle. And then when I look at the back pose, what do I see in the back pose? What I don't see is Allison's shoulders, sadly. And I did see her Instagram post. She said that her hair was part of her feedback. And then they want more roundness in this upper outer glute, and that she's going to keep competing. So yeah, she already knows that like her hair was across her shoulders for a lot of the show, or at least a lot of the poses that I've seen so far. But what stands out to me in this back pose? So I would say that I'm seeing really good conditioning and conditioning that's consistent across the physique in these top three right here. What is standing out negatively to me? A lack of glutes in Valeria and Katarina compared to the upper body. Like Katarina's upper body looks really full, but we're seeing a lot of sloping off in these glutes here, and that's evident by like this shallow dip that you see travel diagonally across her glute. Whereas if we zoom in on these three, Lisa, Anna, and Allison, really poppy, full glutes. And honestly, same with Charlotte and Valeria, but you see more sloping off in the glutes as opposed to these three of our top five who are really full in that across like glutes top to bottom. Allison could be fuller in this upper outer glute, but she still looks like she has consistent roundness and fullness across the glute that she does have. Where Valeria and Charlotte both lose it for me is I see a more significant slope off in the upper glute here on both of them. And part of that I think is like how part of like what makes Allison's lack of upper glute stand out to me less than Charlotte and Valeria is Allison still has enough glute that it's like pushing the suit bottom up and out. So her glutes are what's making the or helping make the suit bottom's heart shape. Can you tell I'm struggling? That's what like the dream is in bikini. You don't want to like have the suit be like laying flat on you. You want to have so much fullness and pop in your glutes that it pushes the suit up, which creates even more shape with that suit bottom, if that makes sense. So you can see Valeria's suit bottom just lay flat across her, like pretty flush to her skin. And while these three, it's also flush to their skin, their glute projection is pushing this bottom edge of the suit up and making it look even more round and heart-shaped. Feel free in the comments to let me know if that makes sense. Also, everyone who has taken time to comment something kind to me, I'm like so flattered and honored. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. It's very touching. So thank you so much. And then as far as what else I'm seeing lack in like the bottom three of the top six is for Valeria, really it's only upper outer glute. Everything else is great. Everything else is great. She's just wider up top than she is in her hips. Charlotte, it's kind of the reverse. Yes, she needs more upper outer glute, but she's almost thin looking in the shoulders and arms. And I said this before, shoulders are similar development to her triceps, and neither of them look that developed from the back. So that's something that happens pretty often, like in competing and in just regular gym setting. The muscles you can see, you're able to you're able to have a stronger mind muscle connection with them. So like when you're doing this, I explain to my clients, I'm like, when you're doing I'll show you my bicep. When you're doing a bicep curl and you can track, you can see it and you can feel it you can touch it. So you can feel that muscle activating. As opposed to something like your back, like say you're working your rhomboid, so like right in this upper mid back here. You can't exactly reach and like touch that and feel it activating. You can to a degree, depending on your flexibility with like your rear delts, but it's kind of awkward. You would have to do things unilaterally. Well, same with the bicep curl example. But yeah, so what I'm getting at is that when we're starting to work out, we don't see that part of us in the mirror. So it's like it doesn't exist. So you look great in the front, and then you turn around and it looks like a significant lack of development in the back compared to the front. So I don't know if that's like Charlotte is a very experienced pro. Like she's a very experienced competitor. So she I think it's just a matter of like more time building her upper body. But from the front, the reason I bring it up is because from the front, she does have a lot of fullness to her lateral delt and her front delt, but her rear delt is lacking a bit. So if she could just like really focus on her rear delts, bringing those up, it's going to likely require an improvement season, or if maybe she's just not pumping them up backstage. But I can't imagine she's not pumping them up backstage. But yeah, they've consistently just looked a little bit flat to me and flowed straight into her arm. So yeah, I'm just not seeing the pop that I want to see. Could she maybe angle her elbows slightly in to get that roundness and like capping to really show, like you see Anna do here, where her elbows are more angled in than even like Lisa, who won the show, or Allison? Yeah, maybe that would help, but I think it is just going to come down to development. I don't know that that's the difference in like, the place, fourth place, which she got at the show, and even third place. So yeah, just bringing that up. Hair looks beautiful. Tan looks beautiful. She has great stage presence. Like she looks like she's having fun. She clearly like practices her posing routine. She's really, really good. It's just a lack of development up there. And if she can get that, she has a great structure, like really great structure. So yeah, I think Charlotte has a lot of positive attributes. It's just bringing up the shoulders a little bit, maybe even the arms, but the shoulders, because the arms look, the development, lack of development in the arms is highlighted by how developed her legs are. So that's what I'm thinking. And then more upper outer glute. You can tell like in these top three, a lot of fullness, like I said. And then Charlotte, and I've talked about this before, if she maybe even had just a bigger suit bottom, like more coverage on her suit bottom, like kind of what we see with Allison here, that would help. But again, it's just going to come down to adding more size to the upper outer glute and bringing up the upper body from the back specifically. That's what I think. Charlotte, if you're watching, first of all, hey girl. Second of all, let me know. Look, I forget what I was telling her to let me know about. Charlotte, if you were able to follow my train of thought just now, let me know whatever it is that you think that I was asking you to let me know, because I forgot. Okay. Okay. So what else stands out to me? Did I already go over that? Okay, yeah. So that's where those three are kind of falling behind in the pack. Katarina, similar thing. It looks pretty pointy here, and part of that is the suit bottom. I think if you pull it up in the front, down in the back, then that would make it land at a more flattering place, like Allison's and Anna's. So yeah, and we'll look at it from the front again too, and I'll see. Yeah, let's look at it from the front again. Okay, maybe I X'd it out. Maybe I did. Maybe I did, you guys. Okay. Let me pull it up again. What do you think about that? Is it down here? No. No, it's not. Okay, let's look at it from the front. Since she's off to the side, it actually does look like it's probably high enough. So I think it's just a back cut issue. She still has it pulled up pretty high, which isn't necessarily bad. We're just, yeah. Okay, we're going to go into her individually because I'm seeing some things that I would like to discuss with better photos or closer up photos. Okay, so yeah, I think it's like pretty obvious why these people are in the top 30. Like very balanced from top to bottom, really full, like nailed the conditioning. It's really good. Lisa's conditioning stands out a little bit to me, but I think that's more of a muscle insertion thing, like having just thinner hamstrings, because her leg width isn't as big as like Anna, who she's standing next to, and a lot of the sport is who you're standing next to. As far as polished things, looking at the group, the most polished, I would say, these four. these four. Allison, the hair being everywhere, doesn't look as polished. And then Katerina, the hair like not being brushed through, it looks like heavy and like it's weighing her down. So those things stand out negatively to me in the front pose. And let's just see if there's, I mean, in the back pose, and then the front pose, what, anything negative? Yeah, it looks great from the front. I mean, I would like brushing through on the ends here. And then Allison, I was on board with the curly hair. I'm okay with it because I think it is just her natural hair texture, but like amped up a bit. I know some people are not a fan. Like I've heard people say that. Yeah, I honestly just hate to say someone shouldn't wear their natural hair texture. But I mean, people have talked about how, like, like people have talked about who wore their natural hair and then went back to whatever it is they do, have said that they will do what is necessary to, like, be meeting the criteria. So I don't know. Maybe Allison should go back to, like, a straight hair or a curl because, yeah, it was just covering up too much. Unless she can get it to, like, be more, like, showcase her physique better, then, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Okay. So looking at Lisa, let's go into Lisa. So this is the fullest look that I've ever seen her bring. So let's look at this show compared to um FIBO because we have pictures of that. So she already won the One Bro show a couple weeks ago, and now she's won this one. So she's been doubly Olympia qualified this season. And Tyler said to come in a little bit softer from where she was there. Oh, see, I had both of them pulled up. So maybe it's just the lighting, but it looks like, especially in this, well, look, they have two of them pulled up. It looks like it could just be the lighting, but she definitely looks softer here. All over. She was able to like be soft on her entire physique and not just like getting one area soft and then the other areas look hard, which is something that a lot of competitors struggle with. Like they will get the conditioning in like majority of their physique, but not in other parts. There's always like some are stubborn. So yeah, her leg is where it really stands out to me because she has some graininess and it looks like there were some tanning issues when I look at this shoulder. So that could be part of it, but Tyler said in his recap that she was too hard. And she looks like the trophies that they give out at these shows. Like she's glowing, she doesn't look too grainy in these legs here or in this shoulder cap here. She's still doing this rib thing that Tyler mentioned, took away from her waist. He also said, I think she was opened up a little too much. So it looks like she did angle slightly away from where she was because her hand seems to be in the same spot as it was it that show where she was too hard. So yeah, I mean, no critiques on conditioning. Conditioning is completely on point. Anything I'd say about the pose, just like pulling these ribs in and down to like streamline and flatten this entire torso here because it's a little distracting having it protrude out like that. Okay. And then looking at her back pose. Okay, so looking at her back pose individually instead of in the lineup, I believe her feedback at FIBO was, that she was too hard in the back as well, so we will pull that up. But she looks really, really bursting full, like the perfect conditioning at the show. So here she was a couple weeks ago. Here she is now. I really like the straight hair. I think that looks great on her. The curls are okay too, but this kind of looks more her. So I really like this. I think it could be a little bit shorter in both of these styles, honestly, like by an inch, because she does have a tiny waist from the back. I think that her conditioning is a lot better. She's really like popping through these hamstrings. It looks like a full muscle belly. This looks like it is a little more cut in, like through the center of those hamstrings. You can see an indication of it here, but it's not as detailed. Her glutes look a little bit softer in this upper outer edge than they did here, and I think that is good for her. They don't want to see like squared off glutes in bikini. However, some people come in with like more of that kind of look. And still do well, but I think this is like really nailing the fullness and roundness they want to see. So I think this looks really good. I love the green suit on her. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about that part. The arms, I do struggle with the arms a bit. I think the elbows are way too pointed out. I would like her to slide her hands down her legs a little bit. And angle those elbows slightly in so we aren't seeing like so much of this tricep and even the bicep peeking through. So I'd like her to straighten the arms slightly and angle the elbows in just a little bit. And I think we would get better pop. I mean, she has good pop in the shoulders, but they do look like they're kind of sloping off. So, and since she has such like full glutes with great projection, I would like to see that kind of mirrored in these shoulders as well. Okay. And then we have Anna. So Anna, this is her second time getting second to Lisa. She just got second at the One Bro Pro. Oh yeah, I do have this picture of the One Bro Pro. Okay, because Lorena's in it, and we're going to talk about Lorena. So this is her second time getting second to her. She was too hard at this show, I said. Um, and let's look at her now. So at this show, I think she definitely softened up, and she was at the Olympia just like 6 months ago or whatever the Olympia was. Hair and makeup, really pretty. The makeup looks beautiful. The hair also looks really good. The suit color, it's good. I'm not like, you know, obsessed with it, but it looks good. It looks good. Really balanced from top to bottom, definitely filled out more. It looks like she's having some tanning issues here in the armpit area. But I love like how tight her arm is to her frame. It really frames her waist. And then yeah, just really balanced. I think this is a great front pose on her. I don't really have anything to say about it. That's a first. Wow. Do I ever say that? I guess I should say more like what's going right. A lot of pop in the upper outer glute, which is like the same and consistent with the upper body. The edge of the shoulder lines up pretty well with the edge of the glute. So that's really great hourglass shape and balance. I like where her hand is. Her waist is super tight. She's not getting any distension. She could be a little rounder up here, I guess, but like that's totally nitpicking. Conditioning of the leg is not too hard. It's perfect conditioning. Yeah, it's really good. And then I feel like I'm gonna like get in trouble for not saying anything, but no, it's really good. And yeah, back, same thing. So she was like, and this is just one picture, and they didn't put pictures online, but she looked like really hard in the tie-in, like at the very tip of that tie-in. She softened that up. It looks really good. It just flows naturally into the hamstring. The hamstring, we don't see those deep like divots that we did at the show. The lighting given is a lot harsher here. But yeah, it's really good. This is kind of deep, but I mean, it's no more extreme than we saw in Lisa. Maybe slightly, maybe slightly. Why do I think Lisa beat Anna? I should probably say why I think Lisa beat Anna. Okay, so looking at the comparisons, I think Lisa just has more bikini flow to her physique. It just looks more curvy, more hourglassy. Anna is a little more straight up and down. So I think she definitely achieves hourglass shape per her physique or relative to her physique. But I think Lisa's is just better. I think it's just yeah, I think it's just better. And the balance or muscularity is really good. So is Anna's, but I don't know. I think Lisa just has better flow. And then when I look at the back pose, I think Lisa is just more balanced. Anna's glutes are really dominant. They look really good, and they have a lot of the same pop that she has in her shoulders. But I think Lisa's balance with her shoulders better. Like her glutes are a tiny bit overpowering to her shoulders. I think if I were there, I wish I could be there. But yeah, I think Lisa just has better flow. And Anna has like pretty much all the muscle I think she needs for this division. Like I struggle to even say she needs more upper glute in her front pose because in her back pose, it's so there. Like she doesn't really. So, I mean, maybe. I'm trying to look at the width of her legs. I'm not sure. I wish I were there in person. I think it was probably tighter than it said on the scorecards. Okay, and then in third place, Allison. So you know I love Allison. I think well, makeup perfect as usual. Tan looks perfect. Hair I already talked about. Suit color I love the red. I think for her this like is bikini. It's just the upper outer glutes when she walks to the back. And at this show in particular, the hair covering her shoulders. Like in these pictures, it was particularly noticeable. But yeah, just needs more upper outer glute here. I think the suit bottom cut is fine. I think it's good. Like I've talked about her suit bottom cut before. If she angled her toes out slightly, I think she'd get a little more upper outer glute pop, but then her quads would overpower her legs. So it's a tough position. It's a really tough position. I don't know. I think just more upper outer glute, which, like I always say, is most people. Okay, Charlotte. This is so much closer to the conditioning that I have been saying I wanted to see on Charlotte. It's just the legs are still a little too soft compared to the upper body, and she has a lot of this lateral delt and even front delt here. It looks like, but it just the balance isn't there from top to bottom. The top and bottom don't match, and in the back, top and bottom don't match in terms of conditioning and in terms of development. She just needs more. She's more conditioned up top than she is on bottom, and she's more developed up top than she is on bottom. And then when we look at her hair and makeup looks beautiful though. And presence is great, always great. I think maybe if she angled her toe more at like a 45, then we'd get more shape to this leg and hamstring. And it would also like narrow her legs slightly without losing the hamstring and glute pop. Which would then be in better balance to her upper body because I think her upper body is a little bit thin. Uh, I also just crave a kiss of detail in the abs. I have not seen it yet this season. Yeah, and I think that's missing because it's just a big plane of like, no real detail. And same thing with this leg here, which is kind of why I want it angled. Oh, this might not be fair. I don't know that she's fully posed there. The red suit is pretty. Okay, this is her full pose. Sorry about that. Yeah, so foot's in the same. It doesn't really change anything, honestly. Okay, back pose. Hair, perfect. Could be an inch shorter, but her waist, it is smaller than her glutes. So yeah, an inch shorter could be good. And same thing, just looks kind of flat in these rear delts and needs more upper outer and just overall projection, I think. And that's most people. She's still like a fairly new pro. I think she went pro like in 23. Yeah. Yeah. And let's look if she had like ab detail when she won the Taiwan. Yeah, she did. So that's like what I'm missing from uh did I say won the Taiwan? She got second. And this angle is these are the things that I would like to see. Like this pose and this detail. Okay, we're almost done. Thank goodness, I have to pee. And then I'm gonna get right back on here and film the previews to the other two shows. Okay, so Katarina, that's her name, right? Okay, good. So Katarina, I love the pink, honestly. It looks really good. And also she comes in harder, so this softens her up a little bit. So yeah, what do I want to say? Yeah, okay, so it looks like her foot is either too far forward. It just looks like she has weight in both of her legs, and you want to be able to lift up this back leg. So I think her leg is just too straight and it's throwing off her balance. I would like to see a little bend and like put the foot here instead of all the way out here. I think that would give, better shape. Maybe she's not fully posed. I mean, I think she keeps her leg like that, but she's looking down. Okay. Yeah, so same thing with the leg. And yeah, her suit height is good, so I actually wouldn't pull it down in the back and up in the front. But yeah, it looks like she's tilted forward. I want her to not sit into the glute, but I want to see some glute pop, and I'm just not getting very much of it. Um, Harder conditioning than the top four. Well, the top 3.5, because Charlotte was softer on bottom and pretty hard up top, but the top three were soft all over, which in a good way, in like a pop way. But yeah, just needs more shape. She might be tall because she looks pretty like straight up and down. You can look that way for sure, but taller people have a harder time with it. No shade, tall people. And then yeah, that's it. The foot positioning is messed up for me. And then I would like to see more glute pop, and I would like her to adjust her weight distribution so it's mostly on this leg, and just more development to the glutes and the hamstrings. Pretty much more development all over. That's what I think. And me too, so not alone. I'm your company, Katarina. You are not alone. Remember that. Okay, here is her back pose. So the pose, I think, is honestly pretty good. I think it's just needing more muscular development. So, I don't want to see like where the glute ends. I want to pull the suit bottom down. So I think it's just going to need to be a new cut because it's already up high enough in the front. Any higher and it's just probably not going to look right. Running a brush through the curls because it looks a bit heavy. This shoulder looks higher than the other one. Maybe maybe it's at an angle, this photo, I'm not sure, but just needs more size in the hamstrings and glutes. Just, yeah, more size all over. Okay. Okay, perfect. So that's my review. That's my review, you guys. And then she's not competing at Pittsburgh, is she? Are any of those people competing at Pittsburgh? Let's see. Lisa. No. Is she? No. Okay. Okay. Well, oh, Anna Setlack is, I think. Is she? No. Okay. Okay. Video over. And I'm about to do another one, and I'm in the same state. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.